So today we will be discussing about the second chapter called the people as a resource. So before we dig into this chapter in details, we need to understand a few concepts which are very important and are going to come across this chapter. First concept we have here is of resource. What do we understand by the term resource? Resource is a source of supply from which a benefit is produced and that has some utility. Okay, so in simple words, resource is a source of supply in which we get benefit and also has some utility. Okay, so when we say utility, what do we understand by utility? Utility is nothing but a state of being profitable. So it is a state of being profitable. Okay, then the third concept we have here is of asset. So what do we understand by the term asset? Asset is a valuable thing or a person which is advantageous. So asset can be a thing and asset can be a person, but it should be valuable, which contributes to the nation, which makes it positive, which brings advantages to it. So asset is advantageous. Then we have the concept liability. When the presence of a person or a thing is likely to put one at disadvantage. So what do we understand by liability? That when the presence of a person or a thing, okay, liability can also be a person or a thing, but it is likely to put one at disadvantage, that is liability. Okay, so here we understand very clearly that asset is advantageous, which can be a person or a thing. Similarly, liability can also be a person or a thing, but disadvantageous. All right, so when we talk of when we are done learning these concepts, we need to understand a very important thing which the chapter talks about is this, that to make the population an asset or productive, investment in human capital has to be made. Okay, so it says that so that the population becomes more productive, it becomes more smarter and skillful, so investment has to be made in human capital. So now when we talk of human capital, what do we understand by the term human capital? Human capital is again a simpler concept which says that skills, knowledges and experiences possessed by an individual or population is human capital. It means that a group of people or a population, when they are skillful, knowledgeable, they have lots of experience, they can be considered as human capital. Okay, so after learning these concepts, which are very important to know or understand this chapter, we need to understand again the line which I said before, that to make a particular population an asset or productive, investment has to be made. So when I talk of investment, two questions comes here, that what kind of investments, what form of people will gain knowledge, how are investments going to be made. Okay, so we need to understand how are investments going to be made and what form of people will gain knowledge, because human capital says knowledge and experience possessed by an individual or a population. So when we talk of investments in human capital or in a group of people or population has to be made by two factors. That is, number one comes the education factor and number two the health factor. So coming in details or talking more about the education sector, we have here this, that the advantages of education. What happens when a group of people or an individual or population is educated? What happens is that they attract better jobs. When educated people always attract better jobs than uneducated ones. Number two, they are able to make use of resources which are available already to them in a better way, in an optimum way. And they improve the quality of living population. Okay, they improve the quality of living population. And secondly, coming to the second factor, which is of health. When people are healthier, when the government invests more on education, and second factor, that is health factor, when they do it more, that people are healthier, the country's population becomes healthy, then we have a healthy workforce, means the people who are working in a country or doing any kind of economic activity are healthy. Therefore, they are able to dedicate more time in work. And every workforce wants healthy people for its growth, right? Obviously, every company, every office will want a healthy workforce. Why? Because they want their company or firm or whatever the sector it is concerned with to grow. So when people will be healthy, they'll have a fresh mind, they'll have sharp brains, sharp ideas, so they can invest more input into it. So, and unhealthy people, they will not be able to give that input which they were they had the potential of. So as a result, we understand that when the government invests on two factors, that is on education and health factor, then the workforce or the population becomes a human capital and thereby becomes an asset, not a liability. Okay, not a liability. So when we can say this, that when the population or the people, they are educated, they are healthy, then they contribute more to the GNP of a country, because better human capital, you see here it's written, better human capital contributes to higher GNP of a country, which means the country will grow more with better educated people in it and more healthy people in it, because they'll be able to contribute more. But when I talk of GNP here, what do we understand by GNP? GNP, it simply means that total value of final goods and services produced in a given period by the country's factors of production, irrespective of their location. That means gross national product. GNP, full form, gross national product. It means nothing but when the total value of final goods and services is produced in a given period of time, okay, by a country, by what? The factors of production which is there in a country, irrespective of whether they are inside the country or they are in any foreign country, it will be counted in the gross national product of a country. Okay, so when a population, so as a result we come to know this, that when a population is healthy and educated, then it is also able to make use of the given resources in the best way possible, and thereby increasing the productivity or the GNP of the particular country. Okay, and it has always been seen that a country with a greater or better workforce is always inspiring and has been always very developed. So we can here take the example of a very advanced country called that of Japan. So Japan, as we all know, it is not very rich in natural resources, but still Japan is considered to be one of the richest and advanced country. Why? It is because that Japan has understood that investment in human capital or investment in human resource is the best way to make a country prosper, to make it progressive. Japan has invested in health and education sector the most, thereby its human resource is sufficient and efficient enough to make it a rich and developed country. Now, it has been seen that when a particular person is healthy, or when a particular person or a group of people are educated, it does not only benefit them, but it benefits the society as a whole indirectly. How? Because one educated person will inspire or give advice to his or her near and dear ones. So this chain or this cycle goes on and on and on. Okay, so thereby what happens is making one person educated, it means that we are also benefiting or making welfare for the society indirectly. Similarly, a healthy population, a healthy group of people will be able to transfer their knowledge about health and everything through education, or how everybody should be fit and healthy and what are its advantages, what happens when a healthy workforce works for a particular firm. and thereby the government of India has also understood the importance in the investment of the health and education sector. Thereby they have launched various schemes like that of the SSA. The full form of SSA is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, which and secondly, we have the midday meal scheme. These kind of schemes have been implemented by government of India because so that the attendance of the students, it increases day by day. Okay, it increases. They want attendance of students in schools because most people, they drop out because they do not have proper living at home. They cannot, they can't afford a 2 square meal a day. So therefore, government has introduced this, that along with their free education, they'll be given one-time meal per day, so that in one case, the attendance, one motive was this, to maintain the attendance of students in schools. Okay, and the second motive was this, that by giving nutritious diet to students, at least they can maintain a healthy health and the health of condition of the students or the future citizens of the country as well. And the government also knew how important is to educate girls. Therefore, emphasis on girls' education was also made through various kind of schemes, plans, and various other things. So far we have learned about how education and health is important to make a human resource or human capital more productive. Okay. The third topic we will talk here about is of unemployment, which the chapter talks about. So when we talk of unemployment, what do we understand by unemployment? We need to understand this concept very nicely. Why? Because it is going to be very important. Okay. So unemployment it means this, that people who are willing to work but cannot find jobs. Okay, people here are willing to work but cannot find jobs, so they are called unemployment. So what happens now? Will we call any 13 or 10-year-old child unemployed, or a 70-year-old man or woman unemployed? No, we will not call that unemployment. Unemployment people, we will call only those people unemployment who comes between this workforce age of 15 years to 59 years. Anybody, male or female, whoever comes within the age group of 15 to 59 years, they will be considered unemployed if they are willing to work but they do not get work. So when we talk of, after understanding this concept, we need to understand more details, that unemployment is not only in rural area or only in urban areas. We have the problem of unemployment both ways. So in rural places, what form of unemployment do we get? Here we get seasonal unemployment and disguised unemployment. When we talk of seasonal unemployment, what do we understand by seasonal unemployment? It means that the people who can work only for certain months of the year and later cannot find job or to do anything, even when they are willing to work, they come under the seasonal unemployment. And this kind of problem happens only mostly with people who are engaged in agricultural activities. Okay, people who are engaged in agricultural activities, certain months of a year they become very busy. Okay, consider from sowing of the seeds to harvesting, say 5-6 months in a year, they are very busy, they are employed, they earn something, but other 5 to 6 months, they have nothing to do. They want to work, but they cannot find work, so they have to sit idly. So that is called seasonal unemployment. Then secondly, we have a problem of disguised unemployment. So disguised unemployment can be explained through an example. For example, there is a family which has 10 members in it. Okay, a family which has 10 members. Okay, this guy's unemployment. There is a family with 10 members, but then what happened? They have a very small plot of land. Okay, and they grow wheat here. Okay, so when they grow wheat here, these 10 members, remember, they fall under the age group of 15 to 59 years. So they fall under the workforce population. Okay, workforce population. So they can be called, they can work if they want to work. Okay, and if they do not get work, they will be called what? And willing to work, they'll be called what? Unemployed. Okay, so here we were that this family has 10 members in it between 15 to 59 years with a small piece of land where they grow wheat. Okay, so every year this land, when they work, when 6 people work here, okay, when 6 people work in this particular land, they yield 50 kgs of wheat every year. Okay, they yield 50 kg of wheat every year. But later next year, what did they do? They employed all of their 10 members in this particular farm. Remember that this farm did not extend. This piece of land did not extend. It was same this much only, but earlier 6 people used to work in this particular land. Now 10 people work here, means we have an addition of 4 people here. But what happens? Even after addition of 4 people, the productivity does not increase. Even after including 10 people in this particular land, they still yield 50 kgs. 50 kgs of wheat even that year, which means that these 4 people are extra. They are not needed. Even if these 4 people are excluded or taken away from this place, the productivity, the output will not be less. 50 kgs, even earlier 6 people were, yielding 50 kilos of wheat, and even after employing 4 more people, 50 kgs were used. So it can be said that these 4 people, if they continue to work here or if they work here, they are disguisedly unemployed, which means that they do not give any kind of output to this particular firm. They are unnecessarily occupied here. Okay, understood? Okay, so secondly, we have the problem of urban. What kind of unemployment we face in urban areas? In urban areas, we face a different form of unemployment, okay, that is educated unemployment. So here what happens, people might say that only when people are uneducated or are capable of working in farms, then only they don't get jobs. No, when even in towns and cities, matriculates, graduates, postgraduates, they do not get jobs. It means that there is less of work. Okay, so that's why we have educated unemployment here. Means here people are educated. Okay, here people are postgraduates, but still they cannot find jobs. So that's why here we have educated unemployment. So here, because we are emphasizing so much on unemployment, what is the result which unemployment is going to give? Okay, so we need to understand that when unemployment increases, if unemployment increases, it means that it will be the waste of human resource. Okay, it means that it will be. So we need to understand here that if unemployment increases, then there will be wastage of human resource. Okay, the wastage of human resource will be there, which will eventually lead to a depressed economy. A depressed economy means that a poor economy is not able to in turn, produce more jobs so that people become employed. So a poor economy is not in a condition to give more jobs to the people of its country. So therefore the unemployment is a very dangerous thing for a country because it wastes human resource.